All right, everybody, welcome to NorCal Sports Network. And this is the same hat that Brock Purdy's dad wears. Chat loves it when Marty Lurie comes on.
Anytime you lose a game this time of year, when you can't go backwards, it's a problem.
All right, everybody, welcome on in. NorCal Sports Network. Niners back in the win column with a big win today, 38-13 over the Chicago Bears. And the 49ers came out smoking, came out ready to play. Offensively, they look good. Got a little late start here, a couple minutes as I was watching the end of the Bills-Rams game. Stupidity on Sean McDermott's part if you're watching that game. They had the ball with 3 timeouts, down by 9 at the Rams' 1-yard line. And all he had to do is throw the ball 3 times and try and get it in. And he does a quarterback sneak, and he calls a stinking timeout. Why would you not just line right back up and do another quarterback sneak if you're going to waste a timeout? Allen gets in, makes it 44-42, and now they only have 2 timeouts. Impossible. You got to kick the onside kick. Dumb, and dumber. I don't understand head coaches. I don't understand their thinking. You got 3 timeouts. You saved the 3 timeouts. So if you did score, you could kick off and get the ball back, needing a field goal, still with close to a minute left, with no timeout. Just dumb. Why would you use? I don't understand this, people. I'm sorry, I'm ranting, but these guys get paid millions of dollars to make decisions, and he calls a timeout and puts it all on the onside kick. You know, to me, I don't have any patience for that. I don't care who you are, man. Just fire somebody like that. That is just brain dead coaching. You save the timeouts. You get to the 1-yard line. I know we're talking 49ers, but this Rams game, Bills game was a great game. And to get down to the 1-yard line after a pass interference call in the end zone, okay, you run the quarterback sneak. It's a good chance you're going to get in with Allen. There's about a minute left. Line up real quick and run it again. And so you lose 15 seconds more, but you still have 3 timeouts. Okay, rant over. Here we go. Let's get back into the Niner game here today. Guys, Lou Marson will join us shortly. 38-13, Niners domination. George Kittle, great game today. Brock Purdy looked great, except for the one throw. My one complaint today with Brock Purdy was the throw he had to Juwan Jennings, wide open down the right sideline, and he throws it. He kind of looks like he heaves the ball like as far as he can. I'd have to look at the play again, look it up. I think it was, I didn't even remember what the actual yardage was on that, but it looked like about a 40-yard pass in the air, and it looked like Purdy put everything he had on that, and, Jennings had to wait for it. Had he been able to, throw it a little further, Jennings can catch it in stride and walk into the end zone. But Purdy's shoulder, something's not right with that shoulder, guys. I'm telling you that you can't throw that ball and not be able to you got to have more on that. Let's see. I think I hear Lou in the studio. Yep, we'll get to Lou in a moment when he's ready. And I want to look at that play. What was that in the third? Can you guys remember the play to Jennings? Anybody in there remember how long of a pass that was? Not sure. Let me see. Purdy's QBR today. I see questions in the chat. Did he have a perfect QBR? Brock Purdy, 145.4. What is the perfect QBR? Is it it's real close to that. Is it 157 or is it 154? What's the perfect 145 or 157? What's the perfect QBR, somebody? Oh, Lou is ready to come in. And, the Rams game has just ended. Dumb and Dumber. Sean McDonough. Or what's his name? Sean what's the coach's name for the Bills? I just drew a blank, Lou. Sean who? McDermott. Yeah, not McDonough. He's with Boston. He's a radio announcer, TV guy. Okay. Yeah, to call that timeout, to run it from the 1 yard line and then use it one of your timeouts and force yourself to go for the onside kick. It's got to be the stupidest mindset of the day. I'm sorry. I went on a rant before you got on.
No,
158.3. Yeah, I thought it was 158 right around there. Thanks, Philip. So he had a 145.4 QBR today. Brock Purdy was 20 of 25, 325 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, only 1 sack. Isaac Guerrero, 15 carries for 78 yards and 2 touchdowns. Patrick Taylor adds 7 carries for 25 yards and a touchdown. And George Kittle, 6 receptions, 151 yards. To me, the game ball today goes to George Kittle. Who do you got for your game ball today, Lou?
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to give it to 2 people. I'm going to split it because it looks like Kittle would be so obvious. I mean, I've never seen a zone defense where the middle is so wide open. But I got to give a lot of credit to Jennings too. Jennings, it's amazing when Jennings is in and they use them, they're almost unbeatable. Because it really opens up the middle of Kittle. But both of them were exceptional. The one thing we all talk about how great Purdy is he had 5 balls that were incomplete, but 3 of them were at the line that were batted down.
Correct.
And it's gotten to a point now where that's not like it only happens this game. It happens quite a bit where they get bat down. And the other thing is, I don't know if it's his arm is as strong as we make it out to be. I mean, like today, I think it was Jennings. The guy had to stop to receive.
I talked about that. I just talked about
okay,
that.
I'm sorry about that.
No,
it's gotta have a rocket arm.
Let's talk about it because I think it looks like something might be wrong with the shoulder. I don't think that's. I'm trying to find the play, Lou, on that drive where it was the pass to
Jennings.
Yeah, how far it was to complete. I'm looking for it. I can't remember what.
It says 39 yards.
Okay,
was the longest pass to Jennings.
Okay, that's what it was. I said it looked like about a 40-yard pass in the air, so he was probably 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. 45 yards. To me, it looked like he threw everything he had on it.
Yeah, and the other thing too is after he got sandwiched, right, and he had to sit out a game, you knew that game was over, right? The Niners were in total control. I believe at that time it was 31-6. Niners weren't going to lose. Why do you put him back out there? Okay, the guy just got sandwiched, sits out a game. You can tell he was whizzed. What are our coaches thinking? We have a backup, and he only threw, I think, one other time. You just hand the ball off. Why are you putting his career, and one single game on him? Take him out. That's why you have backups when someone gets dinged. I mean, my God, he got hit high and low. It's like he can even stand up.
And they got a game Thursday now.
In 4 days, a short week, against a very good offensive team.
It's going to be tough. The Rams are coming in hot. They just beat the Buffalo Bills 44-42 in the game of maybe the year.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Great game. The Bills just needed maybe one more minute on the clock to get the ball back. And they had a chance, and I've discussed it ad nauseum, but ridiculous to call your timeout on the goal line.
And then, I'm sort of concerned too. I don't know if you saw, but with about 4:15 left, our starting running back went to the locker room.
Yeah, Guerrero is – yep.
Yeah, so with him out and CMC, I'm starting to get a little worried about our depth at running back, especially when we have a ball game on Thursday night.
Yeah, Patrick Taylor, and then they picked up some guy off of somebody's roster last week. I cannot remember. I think it was the Jets roster, maybe. He might have been on the practice squad or released from the Jets or something, and they picked him up. So, yeah, they're thin at running back for sure because Mason and CMC are out for the season.
But I was very happy with our defensive line today. 7 sacks. We haven't been able to say that in a long time.
Yeah.
And that's without Bosa again.
Yeah, Matos got 3, right? Matos had 3 sacks today.
Let me take a look. He did 3.
Yeah, Gross
Matos. And then Floyd got 2. And I love Floyd. He gets one, and the first guy in his mouth, shaking him on, giving him praise is Bosa. That's a team player. So
the Niners, if we look at the actual standings right now, the Niners are still 2 back of Seattle. Seattle does have Green Bay coming up next week, followed by Minnesota, both at home. But those are teams that could, give Seattle trouble. And with the Niners playing the Rams this week, they are essentially a game out. If the Niners lose to the Rams Thursday, the season's over. Officially over.
Do you think it's okay? Yeah, I agree.
But if they win and go to 7-7, and the Rams are at 7-7, then the Rams would go to 2-2 in the division. The Niners would go 2-3. The Rams still have to play. Let's see. They still have to play.
And that's a huge win for them this week.
2 more
at home against Buffalo.
Yeah.
And it was like 65-35 Buffalo Bills fans.
Correct. So 2 more. The Niners have to basically win out. If they somehow win out, they have a pretty good shot of winning the division because I think Seattle's going to lose 2 more of the next 4. They've won 4 in a row, but Seattle's got a couple of tough games. Like I said, they've got Green Bay, and then they have on top of Green Bay, they got Minnesota, both at home. And then they've got.
Does Seattle own the tiebreaker since they have a better division record than us?
Well, that's where it gets down to. The Niners.
Because if they win, Arizona, they'd have 3, and if they beat the Rams, they'd have 3.
They could all be 3-3 in the division. That's where it gets crazy. Is they can all end up at 3-3 in the division. Right now, the Niners are 1-3. Seattle's 3-2. The Rams are 2-1. Arizona's 2-1. But if the Niners win against the Rams and Arizona, that makes the Niners 3-3. That gives Arizona at least a 3rd loss. And the Rams would have the 2nd loss Thursday night, and they would need to lose 1 more. They would still have a couple of division games left with, I believe, Arizona and Seattle. So it's going to, it's a long shot. It's definitely a long shot. But the Niners came out and probably, I would say, played their best all-around game of the season, except maybe the first game of the year against the Jets. These are the first.
I thought the first half was the best I've seen them. It was 319-4 in total yards. The second half, I didn't like, but again, when you're leading, you're blowing a team out the first half, it's hard to sustain. You don't need to.
Right.
But, hey, the Niners needed this. It was a big win. It was a sort of a trap game too. You got the Rams on a short week. The Bears, I feel bad for the Bears because they had their 3rd offensive coordinator in 5 weeks. They have a brand new coach. A lot of times teams with a brand new coach, they play hard that first game until reality hits.
Yes, Philip, you're correct. Arizona has not beaten the Seattle since 2021. Buster is hungry. It's 5:30 here. I forgot dinner time. It was 5 o'clock. Buster is wanting dinner, everybody. Hey, Buster, boss. Come here. Come here, Buster. He'll come running in here. Come on. You want to eat? There he is. Go see
Dogs
Mother.
are so smart like that.
Go see Mama. She'll feed you. Go see Mama. Go on. Go see Mama. There he goes. He's already ate? Okay. Yep. All right. Maybe he saw something on TV. Maybe there was a dog on TV. He started howling. That's probably what it was. So I guess he did eat. All right. Well, guys, Niners, big win. I think, to me, the fact that the middle of the field was wide open, as you mentioned, Lou, all day long.
Wide open.
It made me think, why haven't they done this earlier in the year? And it's probably because other teams weren't giving them that look.
Yeah.
Either that or the Niners just decided to change things up, because this is the offense they need. I'm a little concerned, though, about Purdy's arm, that shoulder. The fact that he had more zip on the ball earlier in the year, something's going on with the, I don't know if it's the elbow, the shoulder, both. Something's affecting the fact that and we noticed it even before he missed the game when what did he miss the game against Green Bay, right? Yeah. Yes.
Does that sound right?
Yes.
That sounds right.
But before that game, we noticed it a few weeks earlier. Balls were floating. They didn't have the same zip.
Yep.
And it looks like to me that he's throwing it a little bit with some trepidation, a little bit more just touch, trying to put a little more touch on it.
He's trying to aim the ball instead of just firing it.
Yeah. And he's not firing it exactly. So, yeah, Philip, exactly. Team's going to play the Niners man-to-man. I don't know why a team would not go man-to-man. You had Jalen Johnson, cornerback for the Bears, one of the best corner covers in the league.
Yeah.
I don't know why you wouldn't go man, because the Niners don't have the speed on the receivers or the separation in their routes. I'll tell you, there's a I don't want to say a curse, but what's the word? There's a funk somewhere over the Bay Area when it comes to top draft picks for the teams. I mean, Ricky Pearsall to me is looking like a bust. Pods, or as you call him, Bozo.
Yep.
We had James Wiseman. We had Joey Bart. Guys.
How about your favorite Dallas Cowboy, third stringer?
Yeah, Trey Lance. What is going on in the last 5-7 years of top draft picks? Maybe Bryce Eldridge breaks that curse for the Giants. But, I mean, Pearsall, has he caught a pass in 3 weeks?
He caught one today, first time in 4 weeks.
Okay, that might have been when my TV froze and I had to reboot the thing. I missed the 49ers' second touchdown. Was that early in the game?
No, he caught one, I think, right to begin the third period. They announced it. He goes, it's Pearsall, Ricky Pearsall. But you got to, and again, the excuses happen after. Well, he's been coming off injuries. He got shot. Guys, that happened before the season. The guy, he could be a bust, because the problem is our expectations, our media, and our fans have such a high level. It's like, you guys got to give people patience. And, when they say somebody's a no-brainer, a miss, it's almost like the pressure's unbearable. Because
is this true? Is that true, Lou? He's wearing a black.
Yeah, I noticed that
brace
today too.
Where was that? I was
so when he got hit, so a guy hit his bottom and then hit his top, you could see it. And he was dazed, and you saw it there.
Under his jersey?
It was more under one of the
okay.
Yeah. So
what does this mean here? Philip says, I don't know, Lou, a rookie missing TC is very difficult. TC, what are we talking about? TC. Is that
talking about
training camp? Training camp. Okay, got it. Missing training camp. Training camp. I don't know if you heard me.
I heard that training camp.
Oh, okay, there you go.
I thought you were talking about that bum ASU guy that held out who didn't want a training camp because he's too lazy and then he got injured.
Yeah, I got it. They were typing training camp before I actually figured it out. I was trying to figure it out before they put it in. Thanks, Philip and Bill. Yeah,
well, it shows you how important it is. I mean, this is something about the Niners. Is. Next year, if they have a holdout or something, they got to do something different. You know, if they're going to miss training camp, it's sort of like Snell with the Giants. You know, we signed him so late. He missed spring training. The first 6 weeks was a disaster.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I agree. CMC and Ayuk killed this offense. They're going to have to make a lot of changes.
A lot of changes.
Yeah. I mean, Debo had an okay game, a couple of plays, but he looks a step slow. Like he can't, even when he gets the ball out in the open, he doesn't have anything to turn it up unless he's got a step or two on somebody in the open field. If he's coming around on a jet sweep or he's got the wide receiver screen, he's not getting anywhere past these guys like he used to. You remember that Philly game last year? You get a wide receiver screen or a quick pass slant over the middle, and he's off to the races. So
yeah, I was going to bring that up because did you see what he ran for today?
Debo, what was his final stats?
I saw him 5 rushes for 13 yards.
Yeah, not good. Not good. So
no. And the other problem is now, say our running back is injured with a short week. You know, they're going to probably run him again. I think problem with CMC out and us being so low, you know what the Rams are going to do? Go ahead, run. You guys have no speed. We don't worry about it. And they'll play a tough man. It's going to be a very physical game. That's how the Rams beat us last time.
Right. Well, I'll tell you, the top of the NFC, when you look at the standings at the top of the NFC, Lou, I mean, it's Detroit and Minnesota and Philly. They are strong. The AFC looks very, very weak right now. The AFC is just, I mean, it's pathetic. If the Niners were in the AFC,
not bad.
The AFC's horrible.
Well, you got Buffalo.
Well,
you got Kansas City. I think Pittsburgh's tough with their defense in Baltimore.
This loss today by Buffalo, unless Kansas City loses tonight to the Chargers, which I actually picked the Chargers to win this game.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot tougher because KC's been like Cinderella at midnight. You know, they're due.
Yeah. So the 2 seed right now, as you see here on the screen, Buffalo, they hold the tiebreaker over Kansas City by virtue of their head-to-head win, but do not want to see Kansas City get home field advantage in the playoffs again.
No.
It looks like your wild cards are pretty locked in. I mean, Denver's got a bye tonight. Indy had a bye today too, right? Or did they play?
I didn't see anything with Indy today.
Okay. All right. And then, you know, just look at that compared to you got a 6-7 team. And here in the NFC, you look at the top 3 teams. And then, well, Minnesota is way down at 5th because of they're in the division with Detroit.
Yeah.
But it'd be interesting to see what Washington has left. They had a bye. Do they have any? Can they lose?
I'd love to have a bye this late. Then you have 4 games and you go for it.
Right. A bye in week 13 or 14 is nice.
Yeah.
Yes. So I really think this is going to be, well, we'll see. But I think
I personally think it's between the Lions and the Eagles.
Oh, yeah. I do too.
I mean, I think they're the 2 8 teams. And then Minnesota, maybe Washington, Seattle might be like B's, but the other two are just way, way above.
All right. Well, let's just take a look at this. Let's just pretend that the season ended today.
Yeah.
The season ends today. You have the Lions
Detroit
getting
the bye.
Yeah. Philadelphia would host Washington. Seattle would host Green Bay, and Tampa would host the Vikings. And in that scenario, I could see Philadelphia easily beating Washington. I could see Green Bay upsetting Seattle, and I could see Minnesota beating Tampa. Now
you have everybody in the NFC North winning.
Right. Then you would have a battle of Detroit facing Green Bay, 1 versus 6.
Yeah.
And then you would have Minnesota at Philadelphia. So that's the way I would look at it. But TJ says Seattle could knock off the Lions. The Lions are in the situation where they have a lot of injuries on defense. They've lost a lot of players. That could come back to bite them. And I have a feeling it just may, because if how many injuries are they out, starters?
3 DBs.
The defensive end.
And 2 defensive lines.
Yeah.
So it's 6 of their starters.
6 of their 11 starters out. When that comes to the playoffs, that's tough to overcome.
Yeah. I mean, what are you going to do? Score 50 a game? It's harder said than done.
So it will be a battle. It's going to be a battle, and they're going to have to overcome it. But, I mean, we'll see what the Niners do over the next couple of weeks. It's not going to be easy. They got 4 games left, all 4 of them. I would say the line, they'll be favored against the Rams, probably. If maybe it's already out. I haven't looked at it. I'm guessing it's like 2.
Well, next weekend Buffalo goes to Detroit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's going to be a great game. So you have, that Minnesota could theoretically still win that division.
So their last 4 games is Buffalo at Detroit. Then they go to Chicago. Then they come here, and then they host Minnesota.
Wow.
Which could be for home field advantage.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
So the Niners aren't going to get a break with 2 weeks left in the season for Detroit not to.
No,
you know what
Detroit,
I mean?
No, not at all. Not at all. Detroit is going to turn on the gas when they face the Niners. The Niners, you got Seattle. I mean, not Seattle. You have the Rams coming up, and then they go to Miami, come home to Detroit, and then go to Arizona.
And Miami's going to need to win that. Like today, they needed to win to stay in. So
yeah, they came back and beat the Jets in overtime. Oh, what a story that is in the Jets. What a mess. Does Aaron Rodgers
next year?
What's that?
Are you going to bring him back for $60 million?
I don't
think. Are you going
think
to get a fresh start?
Yeah, I think they need to move on. I don't think. Yeah, I don't think that happens. Speaking of $60 million, let's close the show with this.
Yeah.
$60 million. Are you paying Brock Purdy $60 million next year?
I would offer him maybe a 5-year deal for $200 million with about $140 million guaranteed. Now it sounds like it's low because other guys are getting 60, but hey, you're getting $40 million guaranteed. It's a huge contract. You're getting 120 guaranteed because then the Niners sort of have. If it doesn't work out, they're not completely blasted. If I'm Purdy, you go, hey, you know what? My next contract will be the big one. But, you also got to be able to realize the Niners financially, if they're going to do this, they're going to have to sacrifice other players. And they still have other needs. They have a lot of needs if they want to be better. That's what I would do if I'm the GM. How about you, Dan?
Yes, I agree wholeheartedly with you, Lou, actually, because I did a little video on this. And it's out there right now. There's no way I would pay Brock Purdy $60 million. I would do one of 2 things. I would try to negotiate, like you said, a 5-year deal, maybe even a 4-year deal at 160, but it's AAV about 40 million. I know that's below the top level. The top level guys, 60 million, then 55, but Josh Allen's getting 43 million a year. Patrick Mahomes is getting 45 million a year. He signed it a few years ago. Do they renegotiate that for him? Maybe. But you know what? Brock Purdy, there's no way. I like Brock Purdy. He's a really good quarterback. I've got him ranked around 11th, 10th, 11th.
Can you
12th.
see the difference between Purdy and Josh Allen?
Oh yeah. There's no comparison.
Yeah.
At all. But I mean, I rank my top quarterbacks. If you check out the video, and I'm going to do this by memory, I've got Mahomes 1. Yes, I think Allen is having a better year, but Mahomes is Mahomes. Okay. So you just give him that. I got Mahomes 1, Allen 2, 3. I think it's toss up between Burrow and Lamar Jackson. You can 3, 4, and then 5. I'm trying to remember who I had at 5. I may have had Jordan Love right up there. No, I had Goff. I had Jared Goff, and then Love, and then like a Jaden Daniels, and it went on and on and on. Bill totally agrees with you.
And he has another super chat. Did you see his first one?
I'm glad you mentioned that. Let me get it. There it is. Okay, wait on Pearsall till next year. PTSD. Yeah, it might be a real thing, and he's so young. Jerry Rice sucked his rookie year. Good point, Bill. He went through a lot. It's pretty wild to go through. And maybe he takes a little while, some away from the game, maybe some mental health counseling just to get him. That is a huge thing. That's an excellent point. I think Purdy, I'm okay with 5 years, 200, 120, 140 guaranteed. Maybe I only guarantee half of that. I don't know what the guarantee comes out to, but I don't give him 60 million. I don't give him 50 million. If he doesn't want to sign for the 40 million, he was the last pick in the 7th round. Okay. And he is showing signs of that arm not being as healthy as it once looked earlier in the year or even last year. So if he's not willing to do that, I just say, okay, you come back on your 4th year, prove it. If you want the 60 million, come prove it in the 4th year that you are the guy. And if he does that, you maybe give him the bag. If he doesn't, you can always franchise tag him in the 5th year. And in the meantime, you could be developing a young quarterback, a guy along the lines of a Tanner Mordecai, or you could go out and maybe draft the kid. Probably you can get him in the 2nd, 3rd round, a guy like Quinn Ewers out of Texas. Develop him. He looks like a real athlete. He's got a little bit of he throws a very nice touch on his long ball, and he's got some zip on his passes when he needs it. So I think that's what they do. I no way give him that 60 million or 50 million plus contract. It could put the franchise back if it doesn't work out, like you said.
Dan, I have a question because Philip brings something up that Purdy has already won more playoff games than Lamar Jackson. If you had a choice of having Purdy or Lamar right now, who would you take?
Let me think about that. Lamar.
Exactly. So even though Purdy's won more playoff games, remember who Baltimore lost to. So, the AFC, they had the best record. You're also talking about a guy who was MVP last year. So I don't think you can really compare two different conferences. If I had a choice, I would take Lamar 99 out of 100 times more than Purdy. You have a guy with incredible touch, strong arm, incredible running aspect. If Lamar was a 49er, who knows how great our offense would be.
Yeah, and it's not a knock on Purdy.
It's not a knock on Purdy. It's just because of his contract. $60 million is a lot of money.
Yeah. And Mark Graves, we'll get out of here with this. Mark Graves wants to know what guaranteed money was for Ayuk. It was $76 million. The contract was a 4-year, $120 million extension that included $76 million in guaranteed money. So, guys, we will be back here tonight. If you're on NorCal Sports Network, you follow the Warriors. We'll come back for Warriors postgame, roughly about 8 o'clock. Game gets started here pretty shortly, in about half hour. So we'll come back about 8 o'clock. Warriors, Minnesota T-Wolves postgame show. Also, check out the videos that we're putting out. A lot of baseball action taking place. We're putting out videos. We'll be here live. Anything with breaking news regarding Juan Soto or anything related big to the Giants, we'll have it right here. So thanks for watching, everybody. We really do appreciate you being here. And any final words you got, Lou, before we get out of here?
No, I think, Niners today proved they still are contenders. I think maybe pretenders, but contenders, but a big game on Thursday night. Tonight's a big night. You got a big Warrior game. They lost Friday night to the same team. And then one thing I'm excited about, I have MLB Network in the other thing. They're live at the winter meeting. So if anything breaks, we'll know about it. And, if there's anything, either Soto, a Giant signed somebody, NorCal Sports will be right there. Did you thank our sponsors?
Oh, sponsors. Thank you for the sponsors. Chapman Law Group. Give Chapman Law Group a call. You can check them out. Chapman Law Group, located in Marin. They are at 415-613-9483. Give them a call for all your legal needs. We appreciate that. Also, check out Yogurt Shack in Danville and Lafayette. Give them a call as well. Guys, thanks so much for watching. We will see you back. I'll be over on the Krug Show in about half hour, 45 minutes for another 49ers postgame. So catch us over there and back here tonight about 8 o'clock, Warriors postgame. Take care, everybody.